Are you listening? This ain't no quiet thing. We're screaming out our lungs. Hey, are you listening? Hey, are you there? Hey, are you listening? Or do you just not care?
Well, hey, are you listening? This is a podcast exploring the past, present, and future of Christian music. My name is Joel. I'm here with my good friend Brandon, and we connected over a mutual love of some particular bands, but we also have kind of different tastes when it comes to things. And so we get to experience some new stuff from each other while sometimes inviting some friends along for the ride. Brandon, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing fantastic. A little chilly.
It is cold here in the month of December in South Carolina. The low is like 20 today. Mm-hmm. How did that feel for you when you walked out this morning?
Honestly, I thought it was going to be colder. Like
like 10?
I guess it was going to feel colder.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I think you'll understand this is that sometimes there's like 50 degrees. There's a 50 degrees that's like manageable, and there's a 50 degrees that it's not.
Yeah.
So it's like if it's raining or if it's windy. And so I guess, or maybe it's just what I wasn't outside. Like maybe it was I was bundled up.
You
So
had pretty quick little trips between car and front
yeah,
doors.
like I thought I was going to be in pain today, but I didn't feel any pain.
Yeah.
So it's a good day.
There wasn't any frost on the ground, but there was wind that was keeping it cool. So yeah, it's cold, which is great because it's Christmas time. And so we have another Christmas edition today of Hey, Are You Listening? Brandon, what's your like favorite Christmas activity? Like at Christmas time, what's like the one thing that you got to do every year?
Got to open presents. That's what it's the reason.
The reason for the season.
Oh, yeah. I think for us, we do like a little book, and you get to sit down and just like talk about. It'll be like, what's the gift you're looking for? And it's like a 5-year book, so you're able to write down what you want like this year, but then go back. And it'll be stuff like, who are you bringing for Christmas this year? So I think just having conversations with people, and I know it sounds cheesy, but I guess just like growing up, I got to a point where just Christmas is a very cynical time of year. So I feel like it's nice getting to talk to people who maybe they're having a rough Christmas.
Yeah.
And then like just talking. And I think just like out of just regular things, like Christmas lights is something that like I think I've come to enjoy because we go to places that don't have long lines. And I think as a kid, it was this idea of long lines was just like was too much for me. But now it's like we'll go at 10 o'clock at night, no one's in line.
So you're not one of the people that sees a line somewhere and you're like, there's something good happening. I need to be there.
Oh, it's not worth it. Jordan gets so upset at Disney. We'll go for a ride and I'll go 20 minutes. I don't think it's going to be worth it. Jordan will be like, Brandon, it is Disney World. There's no line that's under 20.
I feel like every time we go to New York, it's like we have to find the place where the line is happening because that's like the cool thing that you've got to have.
So you're like, there's something good happening on the other side of this?
Yes. And so you go stand in it as long as it takes. For whatever's on the other side.
I'll keep that in mind if you ever invite me to go to New York with you.
Sounds good. I think for me, like we walk through like an Advent kind of activity every year too. But I think just trying to create some intentional time with my family has been good. We're still kind of in the throes of like midterms for the kids and working through all that kind of stuff right now. But I'm really looking forward to getting to the other side of that and just being able to slow down a little bit and kind of enjoy some moments this season, which we've been able to kind of pull some of those out. But watch a Christmas movie, drink some cocoa, play some games, put a puzzle together. Just some good
Like a Christmas puzzle, or what kind of puzzle?
I mean, sure. We have some Christmas puzzles. I don't have any 1,000-piece Christmas puzzles though. I got a couple of like 300s.
I'm imagining like it's like a scene where it's like a barn and there's some like greenery and like a dog carrying like a present or something.
We have like somebody got us these. I think in the last couple of years, they're like I'm blanking on the guy's name, the painter of light or whatever. Kincaid or something.
Oh yeah.
But like they're like scenes from like Christmas movies. And so it's like his style, but like a scene from like Home Alone or whatever that he's like painted. And so
As you describe that, I'm starting to thinking that I feel like puzzles are just for people who like wish they could have a line at home.
I love having like a Christmas movie on and working on a puzzle. It's like one of the great joys of my life. So hopefully I can make that happen at some point this year before we get too into things. Well, we're covering another Christmas album today, and we always talk about how this is a podcast on the past, the present, and the future of Christian music. And I feel like today is a moment where the past and the present come together a little bit. Because today we're going to be covering the brand new first ever Christmas album from Stryper called The Greatest Gift of All. This is kind of a huge deal. Stryper's never put out a Christmas album before. And so, but I think they're kind of made for it in some ways. And so it'll be interesting for us to kind of dig into that in just a little bit. But first, let's spend a little time talking about what's in the news.
What's in the news? What's in the news?
So, Brandon, I don't know if you saw this or not, but there is a surprise Christmas album drop that happened over the last week. Do you know what I'm talking about? Forrest Frank dropped a Christmas album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with I don't know how to say the other person that's part of it, with JVKE. Together, they put together This Is What Christmas Feels Like. And it's a Christmas album. I don't suppose that you've checked it out yet, have you?
Not you mention it. I remember seeing it was released, but I haven't gotten around to checking it out yet.
Sadly, I have not checked it out yet either. And I don't know that my kids know that it exists. Otherwise, it's probably the only thing that would get played in my house right now. And so, which is maybe why I haven't mentioned it to them. But yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out and see what it's all about. But that happened, and that's a big deal. And I also think Forrest Frank's going on like a stadium tour. Some dates just got released and tickets went on sale, and apparently like he's like selling out arenas in like a second. Like tickets are gone already and sold out for some of these places, which is wild. And so good for him. All right. I've got a little game that goes along with our Stryper theme today, and it's called Metal or Myth.
Okay.
And so I'm going to give you titles of potential Stryper songs. And I want you to tell me if it's metal, meaning that it is a real Stryper song.
Okay.
Or myth, that it's made up. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let me just find my notes here. Okay, we'll start off kind of easy. So first one. Chains of the Crimson Night.
Myth.
Correct. To Hell with the Devil.
Oh, metal.
You know that one. Battle Hymn of the Broken.
Myth.
You're right. It's a myth. Soldiers Under Command.
Myth.
That one's metal. Yeah, that's a real one. That's actually I think the title track of an album, Soldiers Under Command. Maybe their first album.
That stuff, it's interesting because, like, I don't little side thing. I don't know if you've seen, but there's people that are kind of upset with the Jeremy Camp Skillet song they did called like No Survivors.
Oh no.
So it's a lot of like imagery about like I'm paraphrasing, but it's like God like, you know, kill all of the like pride or whatever. But it's like a lot of imagery of like,
Yeah.
oh, I need this, drop this bomb on this or whatever. And so like people are just talking about how like nowadays you don't really find that in the like in like a lot of things about like, oh, being soldiers or whatever.
Yeah.
So when you said that, I was like, oh, that's
You could have brought that up in the news
Yeah.
section.
I should have.
All right. Calling on You.
Metal.
Yeah, that's a real one. That's Off to Hell with the Devil. Lightning in the Sanctuary.
Metal.
That one's a myth.
Is it a real song or is it a fake song?
It's a fake song.
Oh, okay.
Not real. It doesn't exist.
I'd like to hear it if it was real. So
Tears of the Lionhearted.
myth.
That's a myth. The Steel Wings of Zion.
Oh, this gotta be metal.
It's More Than a Man.
Metal.
Yeah, no, that one's real. In God We Trust.
Metal.
Yep, that's a title track off an album. Holy Fire Rebellion.
That's. I'm gonna go with myth.
Myth, yeah, it's a little too on the nose. The Rock That Makes Me Roll.
I feel like that exists, but I don't think they sing it. So I'm gonna go myth.
It's metal. Heaven's Iron Fist.
Myth.
That's correct. Myth. Yeah. Angels and the Amplifiers.
That sounds like a Family Force 5 song. I'm going myth.
It's myth. Always There for You.
Metal.
Do you know that song?
No.
Yeah, that's one of the really popular Stryper songs.
Oh,
it's
okay.
like a pop song.
So like an encore of theirs, or
Maybe it's like one of their like
I'm asking
few,
you as if you've been like.
one of their few like acoustic songs.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty well known.
I'm gonna take this paper out of my pocket so it doesn't keep crinkling.
Crimson Thunder Gospel.
Old CTG. I'm gonna go metal.
It's a myth. Yahweh.
Metal.
Yep. The Gospel According to Volume.
Myth.
Yeah, you're right. You did pretty well. You probably got half or maybe a little more of those. I should do a better job keeping track so we know. But
The viewers outside will be like, "Oh, he only got 43%."
but it does just kind of prove that your Stryper knowledge is a little limited.
I need to go listen to some more. That's what's happening.
Yeah, that's what needs to happen so that you know. I mean, you should Always There for You. This classic song. All right, well, let's talk real quick about what we've been listening to lately, and then we'll kind of jump into talking about the greatest gift of all. What's something that you've been listening to lately?
I've been listening to. Sorry, while we were doing that, I just found out something that was really interesting, but I can share it later on.
Okay.
Grace Graber. I think I mentioned to you the other day about her.
Yeah.
So she's like been doing like some original stuff and some covers, and last week she came out with a punk version of Forrest Frank's Lemonade. It was pretty interesting, but I think the one I enjoyed a little bit more was she came out with a cover of his favorite Christmas story. And I think that is one of the most underrated Christmas songs out there. It's by, I think it's Capital Lights.
Okay.
And I always get it mixed up because there's like Capital Lights and Capital Cities. And one of them was this Christian band that released like 2 bands. And the other one was like, I think super big. So I always get it mixed up. But yeah, I think it's a really underrated Christmas story. And I feel like she did a really good job of making a cover of it. So I've been listening to both those a pretty good bit.
That's cool. That's awesome. I haven't really been listening to anything new. I'm getting ready for next, is it March or April, when MXPX is coming to town. And so I have a little bit of gap in my MXPX listening, that I listen from the very beginning, like all the way through until until the ever passing moment, basically, and then stopped. And so I've kind of picked up listening. I've been listening to the album Secret Weapon by MXPX, just trying to kind of fill the gaps in my knowledge, so I make sure I know enough of the songs when we get to see them live. You're gonna have to start listening to them, so you're not just there.
I know. Do you ever do you ever go to setlist.com and check what the set list is going to be beforehand?
I should actually.
I do that before so many concerts, like especially if I don't know the band.
Yeah.
Because even bands I know, there's sometimes where they play songs and it's like it's not until later on that I appreciate the song.
Yeah.
And like some bands, like the like Need to Breathe, they'll might throw in one or two. But I feel like it's nice because you know what to expect, so then you appreciate instead of spending 3 minutes going, "What are they singing?"
Yeah. I feel like MXPX has so many songs, and they're always doing live streams of just playing like every song they have. And so I feel like just because they're playing something on a tour doesn't mean that they're playing it the night you go see them. But yeah, that would be a helpful thing. And I need to check that out to just kind of get an idea of kind of what they're doing. But yeah, eventually we'll cover some MXPX records so that we can have Mike Carrera on the pod when he's in town. But yeah, I've been listening to Secret Weapon, so it's been pretty cool. All right, so again, today we're covering The Greatest Gift of All, the brand new Christmas album from Stryper. Here's some info that I pulled online about this. So The Greatest Gift of All released on November 21st, 2025, and so it's only been out for a few weeks at this point, fulfilling a long-time fan request for a full Christmas record. It's a 10-track album that features 5 original songs and 5 heavy reimagined Christmas classics like Reason for the Season and Winter Wonderland, delivering their signature power metal sound with festive themes. It was released as a physical release only and is not available on streaming services. So that was an interesting thing for us when we found out about this.
Yeah.
I honestly, when we talked about covering this, I'm like, I'm just going to pick that up. And so I just went ahead and ordered it on vinyl because I wanted to check it out. But I had no idea that it wasn't going to be on streaming until you were like, hey, this isn't on streaming.
Do you feel like if it was streaming, you would have still bought the vinyl?
Well, I did before I even knew whether it was or not. And I think just because it felt like a little bit of novelty to me, like things like a Stryper Christmas album just kind of fascinates me.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's like a piece of history that I want to own. Like, and be able to hold in my hands. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did. But what's your take on that? Like, what do you think about that? Just why would they make this move?
So when I first found that out, I felt like it goes both ways. I think from a business side, it in a way makes sense. Like it's kind of a risky thing, but you're making like there's only so much supply. So if you want this, you got to go buy it. You can't just wait around to get it. I think from like a ministry side, it's like, I feel like it's like a church. Like if you were to say like churches that like charge for seats or whatever, it's like, yeah, people know, but also you're like closing the door for more people hearing about it.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's like I get annoyed when people don't do a physical release, but I understand it because like I want to look through the booklet, I want to buy the CD, but I understand. But I feel like it's weird to have where people don't even have like here's a download link or whatever. But what's interesting about all of that is that what I discovered while we were playing our game is that it is now available on Apple Music.
What? Okay.
So it's not available on Spotify yet, but you can stream it now on Apple Music. So it is
Interesting.
out digitally.
I
So
was-
how does that make you feel that they said there? Because I think what you had read was there was not going to be a digital release.
Yeah. I think in my head, I was imagining that they're like this year we're gonna do a physical release only, and that way we can sell everything. And then next year we'll
Yeah.
release it on streaming, and it's almost like it gets two releases. You know what I mean? Like they get two shots at it
Yeah.
coming out and catching an
They
audience.
pulled a goatee.
So it's interesting that basically it's been out for 3 to 4 weeks, and now they've like dropped it online, which I guess catches like all the fans to buy it first.
Yeah.
Because I think it's actually charted, like it's done decently well, probably because it wasn't available on streaming
Yeah.
and you had to go buy it. But it rubs me a little bit the wrong way that they're like, this is going to be a physical release only, and then just a few weeks later they drop it on streaming. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that, honestly. Okay,
Dropping the breaking news in the middle of this.
you're giving me some mixed feelings walking into this conversation.
But I think it's like it is just interesting because, you know, and I'm sure this is like this could be a whole episode, and I mean I'm sure that you could have people come on who are like dealing with this right now and discuss this. But like at the end of the day, like it is a business, and like I know for me, there's been bands that like I've loved, and you know they will trash their record label when they leave. But they started kind of describing what happened, and it's like, yeah, our sales weren't good, so then they tried to like change our sound, and it's like, well, yeah, I get it. Like as an artist, I don't think it's right to be like stifled, but also it's like when someone's handing you $50,000 and they only get 10,000 back, like they're gonna make a change,
Yeah.
and like I feel like it feels dirty, but also it's like, you know, like I think as a Christian musician, you should, you know, it should be, oh, here the music's for free, or it should be like a new song where it's like pay what you can for this or whatever.
Right.
But at the same time, like you look at someone like Toby Mac, and let's say hypothetically that he made $100,000 off of doing a show. Like you've got his band members, there's like 10, 12 of those. There's probably how many techs, how much gas money. So it's like Toby's not walking away with like $70,000.
Right.
So I think that like sometimes it forgets that like there is a business aspect to it, but I think that it kind of gets like magnified whenever you're mixing like ministry component to that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough line. I mean, this is how people make a living. Like Stryper still makes their living by doing this, which is wild that they're able to after all these years. And a pretty cool thing. But yeah, I understand that for sure. Let's talk a little bit about Stryper. So what history, if any, do you have with this band, or...
Nothing. I think that I know their one song, "To Hell with the Devil," and that's about like I know they exist, but like other than that, never listened to them. Never. Like I know that for some people they're divisive, especially back in the day when it was like you cannot be a Christian and go hang out with that band or this or that. So. Like, I think that I feel like legacy wise, and I mean, I'm not like a historian by any counts or whatever, but I think it is interesting to have a band that was reaching across the aisle. And I know you were telling me earlier about them like touring with bands like Motley Crue, you know, or whatever. That like back in the day that's unheard of. It's like, you know, stay in your little seat, cut your hair, go play in church, and you know, I think it's cool because you have, you know, I wonder how many bands saw that and they became whoever they became because they were like, well, Stryper's out here and they don't have to be, Christian and put out bad music, and they also don't have to like give up their faith to make good music. Like
Yeah.
they can be Christians, they can be very vocal about Jesus, but also put out like songs that people consider to be good.
Yeah. They were able to do that in a way that I think still few artists have. In the fact that they really were able to be who they were, like really, really, really upfront about their faith, and be huge in the mainstream. And a lot of artists since then have made big steps into the mainstream, but it's been a little bit at the cost of like, we're going to change a little
Yeah.
bit of our lyrics and whatever it may be, the way that we talk between songs. And that was just not the case for Stryper.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty wild that they were able to find the success that they found, in that way. So I had definite exposure to Stryper growing up. But I wouldn't say they were always earlier than me. And so I listened to, I feel like, a ton of bands that probably were really directly influenced by Stryper. But not, I didn't spend a lot of time with Stryper themselves. I remember in high school, I just picked up a couple of Stryper records somehow, maybe cheap on CD somewhere, like I think Soldiers Under Command and Against the Law or something, and spent a lot of time with those albums. And I feel like it was Against the Law, which I think is one of their like edgier kind of albums that
Yeah.
I ended up spending the most amount of time listening to. But Stryper was just a band that like everybody knew of, because they made such a cultural impact, and there were a lot of Christians that didn't like it, and they were upset about it and angry
Yeah.
about it and called it evil. And then a lot of people, I'm sure, that were reached by their music at the same time. And so definitely a really important band in the history of this whole thing of Christian music, but a very divisive band at that same point in time. I don't think today that a lot of people look at them in that same lens. You know, they're still making music today, and I feel like they're much more just entrenched in this like Christian music world today, and in their own little way.
Yeah.
But still making music, still releasing albums every couple of years, but not really like controversial anymore. But we've seen a lot happen between now and when they started. So, yeah. Well, so this is an album that has a musical theme, and just to kind of get into some opening thoughts about it, I feel like there's some of it that feels actually like decently modern.
Yeah.
In some ways that surprised me. And then a lot of it feels like it's out of the 80s. But I do feel like it's a little bit of a blend of like probably 80s Stryper and like
Yeah.
just more current melodic hard rock or metal. And so I was a little surprised with that it felt a little more like of the time than I kind of thought, even though a lot of it just kept kind of pulling back. So I don't know. That's a balance that I feel like they were walking a little bit with this.
Yeah.
This record. I think I feel like my only context for Christmas music in this vein or style of music would be Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's the place where my head kept going as I was listening to this, and I kept just comparing it to what I knew of Trans-Siberian Orchestra. What were your kind of big thoughts as you were engaging with this for the first time?
Yeah, I think it's easier and harder whenever you have like this distinct sound. Like if you're just like a like folk artist kind of type thing, it's easy just to go into, okay, it's just gonna be me and acoustic guitar singing Christmas carols. I feel like it's harder because a lot of the songs aren't written to, turn into like metal songs, but also I feel like you have the opportunity just to run with it and be like,
Yeah.
this isn't gonna, like, people don't want us to try to have just a piano, and like no one wants this to be an acoustic one. Everyone
Right.
wants it to be full on us.
Yeah.
Like I remember like years ago, there was a band that I felt like they were really like fun and playful, and then they released a Christmas album, and I'm like, there's nothing original. Like you guys just, it's like you guys were just like, well, everyone else is doing this, so it felt more like a cash grab, like for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why didn't you put out what I'm like hoping for as an artist? It's like if John Rubin just saying "Go Tell It on the Mountain." That's not what I'm looking for. Like I'm looking for something original. I'm looking for something silly. I'm looking for something super serious. On this or whatever. And so I mean, I feel like on that end, like they gave like the fans what they wanted, but I guess it's kind of like, as we dive into this, it's kind of like, if you're like, pizza's awesome, but like, can there be too much pizza or too much ice cream for dinner or whatever?
Yeah, I think that this is going to run into, I feel like honestly, what I run into listening to a full Christmas album by any artist is that it wears down on me as I get further in it. Because I think I've mentioned this before. Like, I'm just so used to listening to Christmas music on a playlist. And so the variety that's there. And so I feel like when a Christmas album for me is track after track after track, kind of feeling the same way, it wears on me a little bit. And I'm ready for something else. And so I think this album, and we'll get into it, but I think this album, even honestly, like Amy Grant, when we talked about Amy Grant, it just, it wears down on me the further that we get into it. So,
well, I can go ahead and jump into this.
Let's do it.
So the first one we have is Greatest Gift. That's the title of that track, right?
Greatest Gift of All.
Okay, I want to make sure I didn't start like cutting it short. So Greatest Gift of All. I think for me, like I enjoyed it. I think it sets up the album pretty well. You get a feel for, okay, this is gonna be what you expect.
Yeah.
And I think after hearing like a little bit more like Stryper, because I think I was telling you that when I think of metal, I think of like screaming and all.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, this is like an 80s like type of like metal. And I think it is smart to begin with an original.
Yeah.
I think it's smart to, because like, it's like the joke is whenever you see like someone performing at a restaurant or something, it's like, oh, he's about to perform some originals. So I think it's really smart to start with, okay, here's an original. This is us. So like this is our thing. This isn't going to be just us doing Christmas covers.
Right.
So I personally really enjoy that they started off with an original. So
yeah, and I think it's a really actually good and bold move that this whole album, that there's like, it's half and half. Like it's 5 original songs and then 5 classics. I don't think most artists would do that. Usually you're probably going to end up with 7 or 8 classics and 2 or 3 originals on an album like this. And so the fact that they were willing to go half and half proves that like they're investing in this. They're putting energy into it, which I think is really cool. And I don't know that anybody would have expected that. Yeah, I like the song too. I like the bells at the beginning just to kind of kick the album off.
Yeah.
And then the guitars, honestly, were coming in. And I was like, is this like an 80s album or a punk album? Like, there's like some punk rock vibe to the guitars that were happening. And I feel like almost every song on this album has like a dual guitar solo happening.
Yeah.
Like harmonic guitar solo. And if there's one thing that I'm like really here for on this album, it's that. I love that sound. And Stryper is a band that's done that forever, and they do it better than almost anybody else. And I just love the sound of it, and so getting that on this first track was like, okay, I'm here. I like this. So yeah, I thought that was fun. Well, track 2, Go Tell It on a Mountain. What were your thoughts on the first cover?
Didn't care for it. I don't know. I felt like I wrote down that "Go Tell It on the Mountain" isn't a song that you give whatever treatment they do. It's not like I wasn't sure. I feel like it's a bold choice because when I think of "Go Tell on the Mountain," I think of like it's best suited for like country. Like if you have like Garth, this is a song Garth Brooks is going to like cover. So I felt like there was maybe like a better choice you could have put into there. I feel like it just kind of like if I heard this live, I feel like almost like the crowd would be divided and like, oh, we want you guys, but I don't know if we want this song, and vice versa. Like we want this song, but I don't know if I want like I want Crowder to sing this or whatever. So yeah, it kind of left me like scratching my head.
Yeah, this wasn't my favorite track either. And I don't think I would have put this as track number 2. It didn't do anything like special. It's a pretty standard version of this song, and there's nothing like about it that kind of drew me into a different space. I like the gang vocals at the beginning leading into it. They did like hand claps towards the end, which I thought, oh, that would be cool. But then I don't really think it helped it that much. So yeah, I'm with you. I actually really like the song, but I don't really care for this version of it.
I think that if you replaced it with like, just for a minute, like close your eyes and imagine if you go into We Three Kings. I feel like that's a song that maybe like it lends itself to like, I mean, I would think you could turn that into kind of this. 'Cause I feel like metal is almost this like you're weaving this like story, like it's about storybooks and all. Like, this is the kind of music you hear about like wizards doing stuff.
Yeah. I can
You try to
already
listen to
I can
like
already
80s
hear
metal.
the like the lead guitars in my head playing the melody of We Three Kings.
Yeah.
I feel that. That's a valid point.
Next we move to Heaven Came on Christmas Day. First off, I'm wondering, is this an original?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so this is kind of where the album picks back up for me.
Yeah.
I do like this song. The gang vocals on the chorus are like kind of fun. Obviously the message is strong. It's got another great dual guitar solo. And there's not a lot about this one that I don't like. I think it's probably one of the like high points on the album for me. And it's even got a down chorus at the end, which was a good, like a really good change of pace. And I'm like, all right, this song works like well big, but it also works well when you kind of bring it down to like its basis. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's what I thought too, is that I enjoyed that they went back to the original route, and I enjoyed when there was this like slow down into there. And I think that's what's cool with this this genre, is that you can be like loud and fast, but then it opens the door to have these like little like slower parts, and for you to have these like guitar solos that kind of just like go back and forth. So yeah, I felt like the album picked back up, like you said, a little bit.
Yeah, honestly, these few songs that I feel like are right here are like the high point of the record for me.
Yeah.
So, my favorite cover song on this one would be the next track 4, Little Drummer Boy. I just kind of like what you were saying with We Three Kings, like, and imagining that in my head when Little Drummer Boy kicked in and the guitars are going and doing their thing. I felt like it just worked with the song. Just to have the drums and those like lead guitars like carrying the melody at the beginning. There's a key change that happens. They do a cool like little timing change on the rumpa pum pums every time. I don't feel like most of the covers on this record work very well, but this one worked for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. What'd you think?
I really I enjoy the drums. And I don't really know what it was about it, but it just like I kept waiting for it to like shift in I guess that next gear and for it to be like, okay, this is working. Um like I don't know if it was maybe just already kind of feeling like a little bit burnout with like Go Tell It on the Mountain.
It's a little early for that already, Brandon.
Yeah, so I guess like I don't know. And one thing I've just noticed this year is that I think out of our reviews and just my personal listing, like I appreciate like these originals.
Yeah.
Or like I said, whenever you start combining, and I'll get into that later on here, but like I think I just enjoy when someone does something that someone else hadn't done. So maybe that was it. Is just it was like this isn't like if I start comparing it with Little Drummer Boys I've heard, it's not the most rocking. It's not the like it just kind of feels like it falls in the middle of
Yeah.
like it's good, but it doesn't set itself apart. I guess maybe that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah. I hear you there. I actually, now that this is on Apple Music, this one's going to go on my Christmas playlist. So,
I think that's also like part of is that some albums, whenever they're on like streaming, you can go back and listen to them. But with this one, it was like I've got one listen through to like or not like
right.
stuff.
Yeah.
So moving into our next one, Still the Light. What are your thoughts on this one?
So this is my favorite song on the record. I really like the opening guitar riff. It's a little like darker tone than the rest of the album, but I feel like it works really well for that and for the message of the song. Yeah, I like there's a line, a stable floor was holy ground. I think the chorus is pure like 80s metal goodness. Just again, kind of the like gang vocals and I felt like this one worked a lot. Plus it's got like Heaven Came, it's got a down chorus. Which I thought worked really well. And then they went from that down chorus into a halftime chorus, where it picks up, but it's like halftime. And yeah, I really like this one.
I think this is what I expected when I going into this album. I feel like it just continued the theme of originals being like the strongest part of this. I feel like all the elements were there. Like the solo was really good. The lyrics are great. And I think it was this song that I started thinking like, oh, I think that like lyrically, like it is pretty strong. Like I think because thinking of a band from like the 80s, when I think of like 80s Christian band, there's just a lot going on there where I was like, oh, I feel like the 80s were just cheesy in general. And then like you throw in like how cheesy Christian music can be. And then you add in like Christmas. So I feel like there's so many ways that it could turn into this very cheesy. But I really liked it. So,
yeah, that's good. I this was definitely the high point for me. And then for me, sadly, moving into track 6, the album takes a real dive with Silent Night. What do you think about that?
I felt like it was a quality attempt. And I think just I'm learning more and more that it's just really hard to do anything with Silent Night than what it's like meant to do. Like there is it's one speed. There is no like I think of like when you have auto racing, you have like they go in an oval, they go on road courses, they do all this stuff. Whereas like drag racing is like it's just straight. Like there is no turns. Like you're just gonna hit
Yeah.
the gas and go straight. And I think with Silent Night, that's the best thing. So it almost makes me like, I'm starting to think with Silent Night, if you are going to want to do something different with it, then I think that it would be such a cool thing to throw into like the bridge of a song,
Yeah.
or for it to be just like a little minute long, like little interlude track going into maybe this like slower original. Because I mean, maybe like if this was 45 seconds long and then you move into like On This Silent Night or something, maybe that's a little bit stronger than just having like Silent Night on the Silent Night. And it's like,
Yeah.
is there gonna be another night track after this? Or
Yeah, I guess I'm thankful that there was a change in pace, sort of, because like you said, Silent Night has to be one way, and they definitely drop and try and pull it off that way, right?
yeah.
And so it makes sense for the song itself. I think that like, and this isn't like throwing any shade at Michael Sweet, because I think he was an incredible like singer and frontman and guitar player for this band for years. But he's up there at this point, and
Yeah.
I think all the like space left a lot of room for his vocals to like stand out, and I don't think that like helped. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and so it's yeah, it just wasn't my favorite track.
Yeah. I'll say too, like, I know that like there's, like I said a while ago, there's a lot going on where it can be like, because there's a lot of qualities where it's like, I don't like a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's easy, but like, like even though some of the stuff's like negative, I never found myself like hating or being angry at this album, you know, or something like, you know.
Well, that's good to know.
Because I feel like there's been albums where I'm start listening, and I mean, case in point, we go back to the 5 Iron Frenzy. For the first listen, I'm like, this album is making me angry. But then after a couple of listens, I'm like, I really like this band.
Oh man, yeah, it's interesting. All right, what about track 7, On This Holy Night? What were your thoughts about that one?
I think that on this, I wrote down On This Silent Night, so I'm glad you corrected me. I really like this. I think that the lyrics were strong. I think this might have been my favorite one on the whole album. I think it's a gamble to make a like serious Christmas song sometimes, because you can go overboard into being really cheesy. But I think this song does such a good job of kind of just like calling out, you know, like while we're in church celebrating and all, like, you know, there's people out there that are starving. There's people out there that are dealing with lost loved ones. Like it reminded me a lot of like I really love the song Rebel Jesus.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's got a lot of the same stuff in it, is that it's like, you know, hey, there's still poor people in February and March and all. Like it doesn't disappear, you know, on Christmas Day or something. So I think that this might have just been the strongest one, because you add another element to where you're trying to be serious now, and it can be like too preachy or whatever. But I think that this is probably the best track on the whole album for me.
That's cool. Yeah, it's so. I mean, again, I like Still the Light. I think the best, but yeah, this is a good one for sure. Just about how we've kind of maligned the name of Jesus, and we continue to do that at Christmas time. Sometimes I think is a really important thing for us to be remembering, and so I'm thankful that they like tackled that. And I think the chorus is good. I do think though that this is kind of the point where like the album started to wear on me a little bit. And so that kind of affects me moving forward at this point. But I did enjoy this one. Yeah.
Next one we go to Joy to the World. Joel, does this track bring you joy?
So this is kind of the more like poppy side of Stryper. Like always there for you or whatever it may be from the past. But it was a good change of pace that you've got like this combined acoustic and electric, more of a traditional kind of model for a song. But and it's got a key change in it. But yet with all of those things, it wasn't doing it for me. I think I'm wearing down at this point, and it didn't really feel like it didn't do anything special or kind of extraordinary, and so it just kind of felt like it was there.
I think I need to remind all of the listeners that we're all friends. I just don't know if I like Joy to the World. I like Joy to the World. I don't know if I like Joy to the World. I don't know. Like, the more I listen to the song, I feel like it's just not one of my favorite Christmas songs. And I think that everyone covers it. So, like, hearing this, it's like I'm already kind of like, oh, cool, you guys are covering another like song that everyone covers. And we were talking earlier about like when you're reviewing an album, how do you go about it? And it's like you can say this is in a vacuum, and it's like I've never heard this song before. How would I rate it?
Right.
Or you can think, okay, I've heard 100 Joy to the Worlds. How do I? Or it could be, okay, out of all Christmas music, where does it fall? And so I think for me, it was just kind of like there, and maybe it kind of just felt like filler. And maybe that's just because it's not one of my favorite like Christmas songs. Like maybe that's why I'm feeling it. I do agree with you, is that I think that like the first half, I say that, but I feel like On This Holy Night is on the second half and pretty strong. But I feel like the first maybe like 70% of this album like is where the strengths were.
Yeah.
So for me, it was kind of just there. Next we move to Reason for the Season. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, so I think my understanding, I'd have to do a little more research, and I didn't do it, but my understanding is this is a previously released Stryper song that they're redoing for this album.
Okay.
And so that they wrote this years ago, and now they're doing a new version of it on here. I think it's fine. Brandon, you're probably gonna make fun of me for saying this, because this is something that I don't say very often. But I'm realizing at this point in the album that I want more production out of this album. The 4-piece metal band, 2 guitars, bass, and drums doing their metal thing. They're occasional, like bells and hand claps and whatever it may be on this album, but it's so slight and so infrequent that I think that's a big reason why I'm like kind of worn out on this towards the end. Like, if there was more production and more layers to it, then I think it would like stick with me more. But I think at this point I felt like I was kind of done. And I don't know, the song just didn't really go anywhere for me. Probably for that reason, I probably didn't give it much of a fair shake, honestly.
I think that's interesting you say that it was previous, because I felt like this was the one original that didn't hit.
Yeah.
And honestly, that would make a lot of sense, because, we go back to the other ones we're talking about, like, man, they're really, digging through the stuff, and they're throwing these lines out, and then you go to this one, and it's your life can be a holiday every day when he is with you.
Yeah.
And like, I hear that, and I'm like, this just feels like it doesn't, like it feels like it was written by someone else, like they're covering someone else. And I feel like that's interesting, because as someone who hasn't listened to their work, like it makes me wonder, like, oh, with age, like their newer stuff isn't more like biting. Maybe because like back in the day, I feel like the idea of them just having long hair and singing this was already like, whoa, that's edgy. Whereas today it's like you know, like you have Christian artists that are like, you know, like cussing on their albums. So it's like, it's hard to be like a Christian artist and do something that's like shocking or like gets attention, you know, when all these other people are already doing this.
Yeah, I hear that. Well, let's talk about the last track on the record, Winter Wonderland. This was actually the single that they released first before this album came out. So I don't know. Does that impact your thoughts or feelings on this?
So at first I was like, they definitely put their own spin on this one. And I was like, this is just overboard. This is too much going on. But as the track went on, I started thinking that, you know, we've talked about how, well, I think that this one fits this style or this one's more country or whatever. I feel like Winter Wonderland is a song that you can do. It can be rap, it can be metal, it can be country. Like, it kind of like, it's like elastic enough that it's like, it's not weird if I heard like Alan Jackson do this or Toby Mac or like, you know, NF or something, you know, do one. So yeah, I felt like I found myself kind of rolling my eyes, but at the end being like, I think this is like a perfect track to throw on to one because it is just very much, it doesn't fit into this one category.
Yeah. I actually did like it as a closer, just because it kind of like, the pace, it was fun, it was fast, like, I just felt like the pace was kind of different, and so it was a nice little change of pace at the end. It didn't like, I wasn't overexcited about it.
Yeah.
But I think it worked fine, in that spot, so... All right, well, let's kind of wrap up and talk about maybe our closing thoughts on the record and maybe where we scored this. What were your thoughts, Brandon?
I felt like going into it, like these ones are always like tricky because you don't like. I don't want to go into it with high expectations and then it be like, oh, I was expecting more. I don't like this, but you also don't want to go into it like expecting it to be bad because then you're going to look for every flaw. But I mean, it's another one that I walked away from it. Like I felt like it was better than I thought. Like I found myself, enjoying tracks. I found myself like, if they ever get around to putting it on Spotify, I'll probably add it to a playlist. But for now, I guess I'll just sit at my house and I'll think, remember that one time I borrowed that vinyl and it was good. Maybe like, it sounds like it's like 30 years ago where it's like, maybe I might drive over to Joel's house and borrow that vinyl, help him do some yard work or something. I don't know.
I love that. So what do you think you land for a rating for it?
I'll be honest. I think that it not being like as accessible, I think it hurts the album score. And it's not from like I'm on Team Spotify standpoint or whatever. But last night, I remember as I'm listening to it, I'm thinking to myself, I'm playing this on my like, I think my record player is maybe like 15 years old. And I mean, it's like a cheap, I think it might be Crosley, but I mean, it's something I paid $80 for 15 years ago. And I'm like, this isn't the best like speaker. So it's like, I'm not hearing everything.
Yeah.
And it's even me thinking like,
you can plug headphones into that thing.
Yeah, but I was in the middle of work. I was moving around. So I think that like plays into it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would say that I think it's worth half a point, like deducting. So I think that for the listeners, if you think that I'm lazy and should have used my headphones or just went out and like bought a nicer record player, I think it's a 2.5. I think that if you don't think I'm lazy, I think I land on maybe a 2, like for it. Like, I don't know. I feel like a 2 sounds harsh, but like I said, I didn't. Like, I found myself enjoying it. I think it was just, like, I found myself thinking that kind of like adds to it, like this being released. Like, I guess for you, like, did you, which I guess you listen to a lot of vinyl, so you're not in that same position.
I do, and I've got a good setup.
Yeah.
And so it actually sounds better for me listening to it than probably any other way. I mean, if I was using my good headphones on my record player, that would probably be the ideal like setup for me. But I was just listening to it through like my speaker setup. So I thought it was cool for a while that this thing was a physical only release. It felt grounded and real. And I'm like, I actually, you asked me this question before, does it help it or hurt it? And I was like, I think it kind of helps it.
Yeah.
And then today when you told me that they just released it on Apple Music, now I'm like, I don't have quite the same feelings about that anymore.
You also deduct. So you're like, if they didn't release it, you could add a half point.
It's funny how we work opposite in that way. And so, I don't know. I think as I like did my math for my ratings, I came up with a 3.2 for this. But I honestly feel like it's more of like a 3 in my heart just listening to it. And so there was stuff on here that I really liked. I really liked Still the Light. I really liked Little Drummer Boy. I mean, I thought that was a great take on that song. And I know that song's been done a billion times by a bunch of people. But I thought it was one of the better versions that I've heard, and I thought it just fit really well with the style that Stryper has. And so there were some high points for me. Absolutely some really good songs, and I liked most of the originals a lot. But the covers overall, outside of Little Drummer Boy, I just don't feel like any of them really worked for me. And landed for me. And so I think that's where the struggle comes in for this album for me. It's just that I wanted more from the covers. And I think that would be the place where I wish they would have spent more time and been more creative. And I think it could have overall been in a better spot.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not a it's like Stryper. I say Stryper fan. There's nothing against. I just haven't spent time with their music.
Yeah,
but like, I feel like if you like them, then like it seemed like it's more of a passion thing for the fans rather than let's get all of like the new people to come join in.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I kind of see this album like I don't think you've ever listened through it, but like Family Force 5's Christmas Pageant.
Yeah.
And I think that that's an album that when they released it, it was, I love this. As a fan, this like they're singing about like their little drummer boy is like, I'm going to bring my drum machine.
I'm sure
like
it's
Baby
bonkers.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's an album that I'd probably give it a 4.5 today. But I know that for a lot of people that they don't know anything about Family Force 5, it would be, this is terrible. Like, they're like, it's hard to like, I feel like by the first 2 tracks, they'd be like, I'm done with, like, this is just too out there.
Yeah.
So like, to me, this is an album, I think it would have been really cool to have someone who like listens to Stryper. I think it would have been difficult for me to be like, oh, I don't want to like be like negative about this. But I think also it'd be interesting to see like, for them, is this what they wanted?
Yeah.
Or is it something where they feel the same way and they're like, oh, I wish they would have done you know, like as a Stryper fan, I wish they would have done like these different tracks. So I think I'm gonna be really interested to see, like, as other reviews pour in, to kind of see like what are the thoughts from people who have been with Stryper for the past, what, going on 40, like 50 years or
Yeah.
whatever they've been playing. So like for me, that'll be really interesting to see like how close or how far off like was it as someone who isn't familiar with the rest of their stuff.
Yeah. I feel like from what I've seen so far, it's kind of a mixed bag when it comes to reviews. I think mostly positive,
Yeah.
but maybe kind of landing in some of the same places we are. I think for me, the other thing is, I mentioned this earlier, like, I think it just could have used a little more production. Like, Michael Sweet, their lead singer, produced this album. It probably could have used an outside producer, taking what they built, but then building up on it and making it just a little broader.
Yeah.
I feel like probably could have helped it. I just wanted a little more of that Trans-Siberian Orchestra kind of sound and feel. And where's the kids choir? And where's the, I don't know why, where's the drama to the record, you know?
Yeah.
And I felt like, man, that could have put it in a little bit of a better place. But again, that's just my context for Christmas music when it comes to this style. And so I feel like maybe that's what kind of drew me in that direction.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what our lyric of the week is for this one.
It's time for the lyric of the It's time.
So the lyric of the week this week comes from my favorite song on here, Still the Light. It is not in gold or robes of kings, no headlines or angels' wings. A mother's cry in a quiet town while the world kept spinning round. A stable floor was holy ground. I like that.
I like that too.
That's fun. All right. Well, we are super grateful for you guys for joining us, and we would love it if you engage with us online. You can find us on Facebook. Hey, are you listening? At Hey Are You Pod on X. Like stuff. Subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a review. We're just grateful that you're joining us for the journey, and we're looking forward to next week is going to be a pretty fun episode as we kind of look back at 2025. And so we hope that you will join us for that, and we'll see you then.
Hey, are you listening?